Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Now, I got this leaflet in the post today. It was delivered with the rest of the mail that we had by our postman, and I wanted to quickly talk about it and also run through it. I do just want to say that I think that this is great that these are being handed out. I don't know if everybody in the UK is, going to get one or has already got one. I'm hoping so, but I don't know. If you got this through in the post, I think it's really important that you don't ignore it, that you look it up, that you take it in. But with that being said, I did receive this and I wanted to read through it with you guys. I wanted to have a look at it with you guys, and hopefully by sharing this, it will raise awareness for the different techniques that you can do if you are feeling down, the different people that you can, contact if you are feeling like you need to do that. So obviously on the front, it's just Wellbeing and Mental Health During COVID-19, a guide to looking after yourself and others. We have a contents page. Quite a large contents page actually. There's actually, by the look of this, quite a lot in here that could be incredibly useful for people. But we're gonna move away from the contents page and we're gonna come to this little bit here, which is called Looking After Yourself. COVID-19 has now had a far-reaching impact on people right across the world, and it's important during this time to take care of your mind as well as your body. Very, very much so. I really do agree with that. I think in general, mental health is incredibly important, and you need to look after your mind. You need to be good to yourself. You need to listen to your body and what your mind is telling you, especially when you are burned out, when you're feeling down, when you're very, very stressed, very anxious about something. It's very, very important to take note and to listen to what your body is trying to tell you. Everyone will be reacting in their own way. Very much true. Everyone is very different when it comes to mental health and what impacts their mental health. You might be feeling frustrated or lonely, concerned about finances, health, or relatives, and you might be feeling down, worried, or anxious. It is okay to feel like this. These are normal reactions to uncertainty and to challenging events. By the looks of this leaflet, this is going to have a lot of basic techniques, but the great thing about basic techniques is that they're a good starting point. You can always build upon those basic techniques to suit your specific needs. We're going to carry on. COVID has also impacted on many of the normal coping strategies that we use to deal with stress. During this time, we may need to be more creative and thoughtful about how we look after ourselves. Of course, because a lot of the places or things that we would normally do, for example, seeing family, seeing friends, maybe partners that we don't live with, etc., that has all been stopped in this lockdown. And so those are natural things that we do when we're feeling lonely, when we're feeling stressed, anxious. We do those kinds of things to pick us back up. We can't really do that at the moment. This booklet contains practical information about things that you can do now to look after your mental health and well-being and how you can support others. I like that. I like that it's not just focusing on you. Moving on to the next page, there's a little bit about beating coronavirus anxiety. They call it corona anxiety. It's natural to feel anxious about what's happening right now, but if it begins to feel too much, follow our top tips. It's okay every now and again to feel anxious, stressed about something. It's absolutely normal. None of us feel 100% happy all the time, every single day. It's when these feelings begin to impact every single day or the majority of our days, and they stop us from doing things and we feel like we can't do things. And it, begins to severely impact daily life. So these are some top tips that they've put together in order to beat coronavirus anxiety. So the first one is limit your news coverage. Avoid constantly checking the news. It only makes your anxiety grow stronger. Limit yourself to 30 minutes a day or particular broadcasts. That's pretty much what me and my mum are doing right now. We watch the government daily briefing. We have here in the United Kingdom a daily briefing, and in that it tells you important things like death rates. It shows you important graphs, shares important information about what's going on, but then after that we switch it off and we take that break, and I think it's very, very important. I think that's a very, very good tip. Connect with others. Reach out and connect with friends and family in a safe ways. Share your fears or talk about nothing in particular. Yeah, still make the effort to reach out to people. For example, me and my partner, we talk over WhatsApp. We also talk, i.e. video call, we ring each other. So there are other ways now to feel connected. We try not to talk too much about coronavirus and the negative impact that it has had on everyone's lives. So there's that kind of side to it as well. You don't have to talk about coronavirus. Be nice to yourself. Add extra time for stress relief in your day. Treat yourself whenever you need and do things you enjoy within the limits of existing restrictions. For example, I meditate every single day, whether it was, the coronavirus or not. I always take that time out for even just 5 minutes. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you see fit. I think it's very important that we do look after our minds, that we take that time out, that little tiny bit of time, and just reconnect with ourselves, have that moment of just focusing on something else. Hold on to hope, keep the bigger picture in mind. The crisis will end and we will get through this. Concentrate on the facts. Use reputable sources for news, advice and opinions. Be cautious of social media coverage. Exactly my point. I myself have found through social media a lot of misinformation about coronavirus, and also on certain news outlets as well. You've got to be very, very careful, and that's one of the reasons why I tend to only watch the government's daily briefing. It's coming out of those people's mouths. They're the big guys. They've laid down the laws and the rules of this lockdown and what we do. So you're kind of hearing it from the horse's mouth kind of thing. Focus on what you can control. We can't control the COVID-19 crisis, but we can control our own responses and behaviours to it. Think ahead, make plans for what you'll do in the coming days and weeks. I've been doing a little bit of this with my partner, and with my mum a little bit as well. I know that it's kind of difficult really because a lot of things are uncertain. That's completely understandable. But for example, I've been looking forward to the future with my partner, i.e. moving in with him, getting married and having a weekend away together when obviously the lockdown is eased considerably more and it is safe to do so. We have been trying to focus a little bit more on positives and what we are going to be doing after this crisis has finished. But it's not always going to be easy, and again, it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to ask for help as well. Don't be shy, don't think that you are weak for just wanting some help and feeling like you need a little bit of extra support. Distract yourself. Distract yourself with exercise, games, books, movies or other activities. Yeah, that's a pretty basic thing that people tend to do, is to try to distract themselves from those negative feelings, those horrible thoughts. Let's move on to the next page. Manage your stress bucket. So this is kind of at first glance something that I learned, or is very similar to something that I learned in counselling. Our stress bucket might be getting fuller. It's raining more due to COVID-19. Some of the normal ways of coping, the holes in our stress bucket, may be unavailable due to the current situation. We might need to rethink how we cope with stress, and the next few pages gives you some ideas on how you can look after your well-being during COVID-19. And there's a nice little diagram here. So this is obviously your stress bucket, financial problems, uncertainty, childcare. Those are all of the things right now that coronavirus is doing. It's filling up our stress bucket, but some of those holes that you would normally go to release that stress, those things that you would normally do to release stress, may be full at the moment. They may be blocked off, and it's giving you a nice little challenge at the bottom here. Draw your own stress bucket. What are some of the rain clouds, but also what are the holes, i.e. the stress releases? Talking to somebody, thinking about the future in a positive way, treating yourself a little bit when you feel like you need to, talking to someone. Looking after your well-being, it goes into a little bit more information here about just connecting with people via social media, those friends, those families, even email or letters. I think a lot of people tend to forget that we can still write each other a letter if we really wanted to. It's not as quick as social media or just ringing them up, but I know some people will still prefer to write a letter as opposed to being on social media. Share your worries. It's all about opening up. Social distancing is about physical distance, not emotional distance. Exactly true. We may not be able to see the people that we'd like to see right now due to social distancing, but that doesn't mean that we can emotionally disconnect from them. It's still very important that we maintain those connections with people and those connections that we treasure so much. Help others. Helping others is a surefire way of boosting your well-being, and now is a time when giving to others can make a real difference. The opportunity to help practically, i.e. shopping for a neighbour and so on. One of the most important things you have to offer right now is your time. Make contact with others, reach out, check in, and to show them that you care. Looking after your own well-being is next up in this little leaflet, and it's all about staying healthy and keeping your mind active. Keeping your mind active, i.e. learning new things, not letting knowledge go to waste or decrease, taking this chance to develop as a human being. You can bake, you can write a poem. We all have our own little things that we like to do, and of course we have the stay healthy part, and that is all about staying physically healthy during the lockdown. So that's eating very, very healthy, doing that exercise, as long as you obviously abide by the current lockdown restrictions. Get productive, make a to-do list of jobs that you want or need to do around the home. Work out what household supplies you need and how you can get them. Make the most out of your time. This could be a perfect opportunity to take up a new hobby, read those books you've always wanted to read, pick up that guitar that's been gathering dust in the corner. For some people, having a clean and organised home environment can really help lift their mood. Yeah, I hate clutter and all of that sort of stuff. Routine. This is very interesting. Having a routine is particularly effective at warding off anxiety and worry. Write a timetable for your week. Pick regular times to eat, exercise, watch TV, read, do a crossword, things like that. Maintain normal sleep patterns. If you work from home, set regular hours, build in regular time to keep in contact with people, and set yourself goals to build in new activity to your weekly plan. So far, I think all of these are basic things that you can do. None of this is advanced stuff. I think it's the foundations of having a happy and healthy mind. Struggling to cope on this side, it says it's important to recognise that some people will feel really overwhelmed, that they need professional support. And that's absolutely true. Share your feelings with a good friend, relative or workmate. Contact your GP or ring NHS 111. Be open about how you are feeling. This is more in terms of if you are having thoughts of suicide. Thoughts of suicide are not uncommon. A lot of people will have them. Around 1 in 5 of us during our lifetime. If you feel like you can't keep yourself safe any longer, or if you have done something to harm yourself, call 999. It says at the bottom, thoughts of suicide do pass, and there are things that you and other people can do to make your situation better. If you're having thoughts of suicide, focus on what you need to do to keep yourself safe for now. It's important to know who you can contact if you need professional support. This may be a key worker, GP, 111, 999, those kinds of people. Making a hope box, a list of photos, objects, anything like that reminds you of why you want to be positive, why you want to be happy, why you would want to live. Support young people. So these are children and how to deal with their perhaps anxiety and uncertainty about what's going on. Depending on how old your children are, they may not fully understand the current COVID-19 issue. You may need to go around things, talk to them in a different way. Beating corona anxiety for kids is written here, and that is keep a routine and structure, keep them connected with their friends, reassure them they are safe, let them talk and open up about their worries, teach them good coping skills, and limit their exposure to the news. Talking to children about COVID-19. Children may not want to talk directly about COVID, but please still take the time to check in with them. Explain it's normal to feel a little bit scared or unsure. Be honest, speak calmly, use age-appropriate language, reassure them that elderly family members are being looked after. You don't need to have all of the answers. I think this is mainly just saying as long as you make that effort to communicate with them so that they understand and their mind is put at rest a little bit, they can understand it as much as they can and need to understand it. Pay attention to individual worries. These may seem trivial to you, but may feel very, very important to your child. Explain how they can help. For example, good hygiene, washing your hands frequently, social distancing, and how this can keep them and others safe. That is all about if you need to work from home. So I don't know if you guys want to, pause this video to read it, but that is there for you if you want to go ahead and read that. I'm not going to read through this page. On the other side, it's all about looking after other people. Be vigilant. In the absence of face-to-face contact, it's more important than ever to find other ways to check in, to keep contact and to offer support to those around us. It may feel more difficult than ever to look after people and their mental health. For some, the mix of COVID-related anxiety, social isolation and pre-existing health problems could be particularly difficult to cope with. In addition, the current situation may have taken away some people's previous coping mechanisms, and their access to face-to-face support. I suddenly can't speak very well. Mental health support is still available for people who need some extra help to get through. That is what is written exactly there. There's 5 steps to helping other people. Number 1 is be aware, build a support network, check in with them regularly, ask them how they are, and then finally, if they do need to speak, just listen. Some people don't want answers to their problems. Some people just want somebody to talk to, and that's the plain and simple thing of it, really. There's more information here on spotting the signs. On the next page, it's all about how to be a good listener. There is actually so much information in this booklet, I'm shocked. So listening tips can include take their feelings seriously, avoid being judgmental. You don't have all the answers, that's okay. Give reassurance, give them time, a little bit of effort, and ask open questions. If you're going to ask any questions, don't ask questions that are, a yes or no kind of answer. And if they do answer yes or no, really, get them to open up to you a little bit more about certain things, about what's bothering them. And then it just is emphasizing on the fact that being there to listen to people can, in some cases, save their lives. So these last 2 pages are all about getting help. Again, I'm gonna kind of leave this right here. These are all a list of important numbers if you feel like you need it or that you feel like someone else perhaps needs it, so you can offer these to them. And that's the end of the booklet. Overall, I feel like this is a really, really good little booklet actually. There's little activities and challenges that you can do. You can write in this booklet, like for example with these pages. And I think that this is going to be very, very useful to so many people who are struggling. I think a lot of it is the basics. However, that doesn't mean that it's not important. I think this booklet should be cherished. I hope people do take the time to read through this booklet, to maybe do a few of the activities in here if they feel like they need to. I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Did you get this in the post? If you did, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in my next video.